Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here, weatherweb.net. Thanks for watching. It is, what day is it? Oh yeah, it's Wednesday, the 1st of May. And remember that the site's kept free of charge by you coming back and using the site, using the adverts, etc. That's what keeps us free of charge. Now, I've got reports in from some of you about how dry it was through April. For example, Tommy Clark was telling us that just east of Kelso on the Scottish borders, he had just 18.1 millimetres of rain in total. Steve Jackson down at Coventry at Bab Lake Weather Station recorded just 19 millimetres of rain in total. Martin Garrett, who is in West Yorkshire, got 12.6 millimetres of rain in total. And me here in Wombourne, well, I've totalled up 12 millimetres of rain. So little rainfall through April and very little rainfall through the week ahead. Now, it's really useful to try and gather a picture as to how much rain there's been. So if you can, send me an email to simon@weatherweb.net, or you can tweet it at Weather School with your location, your postcode and your total rainfall for April. It'll be really useful in building a picture as to how conditions have been. And you can see here from this forecast chart, this is the forecast chart for the next week, taking us through to the 9th, which is next Thursday the 9th. And look, virtually no rainfall at all predicted across this eastern part of England. Very little for Wales and southwest England. Most of the rainfall again here across the north and the west of Scotland and the west of Ireland. A little bit of rain you can see there, just trying to clip the far southeastern corner, that from a system that moves up from France. But essentially the emphasis is on dry weather again for many of us during the coming week. Of course, the bank holiday weekend is nearly upon us, so how do things shape up? Well, this is the forecast chart, the latest forecast chart for Saturday midday. We've got low pressure centred up here towards the north. I think this is really going to be an area of rain and showers that moves its way eastwards through the course of Saturday morning, followed by some showers coming in from the west. Generally dry, you can see down towards the south and east. Fairly breezy though, that westerly wind across the north about 20 miles an hour, down towards the south probably westerlies at around 12 miles an hour. Across the Channel, a little bit of showery rain just drifting onto the northern coast of France, but very light winds there, westerlies at 7 or 8 miles an hour. I know many of you were planning on sailing, on flying, and also pigeon racers flying back from France during the course of Saturday. Will be interested in that. Channel winds, I think, generally going to be westerlies, probably blowing at around force 2 or force 3. On to Sunday now. High pressures down towards the south of the country on Sunday. Still got this westerly flow. It'll bring some showers to western Scotland and Northern Ireland, and perhaps 1 or 2 for western Wales, but most areas are dry. Best of the sunshine probably across more eastern parts of Scotland, and central and eastern parts of England, generally dry throughout the day. Winds are going to be light as well for most, although westerlies 20 miles an hour across Scotland. Down to the south, we're looking at westerlies probably around 10 miles an hour, and probably a westerly at force 2 or 3 across the Channel. And then into Bank Holiday Monday, high pressures out towards the west, low pressure up towards the north east, and a few showers just blowing into northern and western Scotland. There is the chance of an afternoon shower developing in the Midlands parts of Wales as well, but for many, again, it's a dry day with light winds and good spells of sunshine. But the question still remains, what happens going forward? Because got some discrepancy between the charts at the moment. This is the ECMWF, valid for midnight on the 11th of May. So this is going forward to next Saturday. And high pressure dominates. It does on all the models. You see high pressure here dominating towards the north on the ECMWF, which brings in an easterly flow. Now on the Canadian model, this is valid for the same time. The high is to the east. Remember the ECMWF had it up here? You see it's to the east. It brings in a warmer east to southeasterly flow, but again we are generally dry. Now the GFS ensemble then goes to a different idea. It builds its high out towards the west. Remember the ECMWF was here, the Canadian was here. But by building the high to the west, it means that we get a colder north and northwesterly flow and the risk of some showers, and low pressure eventually forming in here towards the middle part of the month. So, although high pressure is dominating on all of these charts, there's a slight difference, a subtle difference between each of them, and it's trying to decide which one do we lean into, which one do we favour at the moment. Can we get any clues from the 7 to 10 day 500 millibar flow? Well, ECMWF is here on the left. We've got the GFS on the right here. And notice both of them look building the ridge through the British Isles. ECMWF making much more of this feature in the middle part of the Atlantic than the GFS Ensemble, and also the ECMWF strengthening off that trough across the northern parts of the states. The Ensemble has it further south. Now, if it was a choice between the two, normally I'd go ECMWF anyway, but recently we've been going GFS Ensemble. But I think now I'm going to flip back to the ECMWF and come in with this idea of the trough strengthening in the Atlantic. I can see that cold feed going into that trough. So the trough strengthening in the Atlantic, the ridge building from warm air pumping northwards across the British Isles. I think that's what's going to happen with the high developing. The CFS is also seeing that high. If you look here, this goes through to the 12th of June, and it shows this gradual rise in temperatures. Look, nothing dramatic, but shows a gradual rise in temperature. That would coincide with that high building in, although you have to bear in mind that the CFS does use the GFS as its initialisation. But I think we just probably need to see the CFS in tandem with the ECMWF, and I do think that this overall rise, the overall idea of conditions being generally dry, is probably about right. So we'll stick with the dry theme at the moment, at least through till around the 20th or 21st of May. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Hopefully that's been useful for you. As always, the site's get free of charge by the adverts you're seeing around the screen. By you coming back and using the site and using the adverts, that's what keeps it free of charge. So, thanks again for watching, and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.